Am I stupid to sell my house instead of renting it out? 2.875 rate. Background: my wife and I considering moving to a home in a better school district and a shorter commute for me at least. Wife only needs to go into the office 2 days a week. We have 2 young children under the age of 4, so the idea is to do the switch before kindergarten starts. Current house was purchased in 2017 for $275,000, 20 down on a 20-year term mortgage. We refied once in 2020 down to 2.875. Current PITI is $1,700. Current Redfin estimate is $395,000, but I think maybe a bit lower at $380,000 is more realistic. After fees and our $190,000 mortgage balance, it would be about $170,000 proceeds. Now, for the new house it would be around $500,000, likely would do 20 down. We could liquidate about $80,000 in stocks and bring some cash to the table to get our DP, and keep our current house as a rental. Otherwise we sell, and our plan would be to put the full equity down on the new house, and have a lower loan amount, but about $70,000 due to the increased down payment potential. My estimate for rents is about $2,200 starting. Not sure the best way to get reliable rent estimates. The Zillow estimate is $2,995, but that seems high, so I am going more conservative for my numbers. Our income is about $175,000 gross, with about $120,000 in post-tax assets, and $330,000 in retirement accounts. For context, current home is older, 1935, and we have put significant money into it since buying new roof and gutters, new main boiler, added second loop for downstairs heating, added mini split air conditioning, insulated exterior walls, new dishwasher, new water heater, may install a basement egress window. Have never been a landlord before. I understand it will be work. I am not super handy, but like to think that we have already experienced a lot of what will go wrong with this house in the last 6 years, but I also know how things can keep causing issues. I am thinking if it gained us about $20,000, $30,000 of net worth a year, I would consider it worth it. Would really need to get some stress-free tenants for it to be worth it to us. Curious to hear any thoughts. Cheers. I'll say the same thing I said on your same post on another sub. Keep in mind that when you move out the clock starts ticking on the IRS rule that allows you to exclude $250,000 as a single person or $500,000 as a couple from capital gains tax when you sell if you've lived in the house 2 of the past 5 years. So if you convert it to a rental and plan to hold it as an investment property for a while, you'd need to pay capital gains tax in the future when you decide to sell it, or do a 1031 exchange and buy another investment property. Just something to consider. Some LLs have it easy, many do not. Are you mentally prepared for the worst? If not, I wouldn't recommend it. This is how people build a rental income stream. These are tax-advantaged investments due to depreciation. They can be cash positive but tax negative up to $25,000 a year. After a few more years you'll have enough equity in the rental property to do a 1031 exchange for 2 properties and have no taxable event. The only issue: are you prepared to deal with the issues of becoming a landlord? The wrong tenant can be a financial drain and destroy the house. Be sure to check background, income, references, etc. Talk to a property manager. If you can make it cash flow positive, then you are building a nice financial future for yourself. You're well off enough where the decision either way isn't going to make or break you, but personally at any interest rate from 2.4 I'd hang on to it forever. What state and what is the age of the home? Landlording can be easy or super risky depending on the house, tenants, and state. I didn't read everything here, so forgive me if I missed any key points, but, no. Being a landlord is more difficult than people think, and it's oftentimes not worth the hassle unless you are a true investor. Don't refy. Look into a helic. I sold mine, same situation, no regrets. I didn't even have a mortgage as it was paid off. My full-time job and kids have me exhausted. I don't need any more heartbeats to think ab. Owning property is freedom. Something happens? You can move back into your rental. In 15 or 20 years one of your kids needs a place to live. You have the rental. You can get a good tenant if you're patient and not nickel and diming. Sounds like you've taken care if some major maintenance issues. Someone paying your mortgage for you? I totally keep it. Don't have to read. Yes. Think about if you broke even in 20 years, your net worth is 1 meter or more extra. The fact you can even come close to cash flowing on a 20 years term makes it a no-brainer. Factor in long-term rent increases and appreciation, not even close. My friend has been in the situation 4 times over the past 15 years. He buys a house, moves out after 3 or 4 years and rolls the money over into a new property. Here's the thing. The last house that he bought in Pasadena, California back in 2018 he sold for $485,000. The house was relisted and sold earlier this year for $1.7 million. The house that he bought after selling that home he purchased for $520,000. It's worth $750,000 right now. If you're trying to build wealth, keep the home. If you're not willing to put in the time to be a landlord and just sell it. Most mortgages require the property be owner-occupied. Check your loan documents. Also be aware your real estate taxes will be higher on a rental property. Sell the house. I don't have it in me to be a landlord. I admire people who do, but no, that's not for me. Only you can know if you want to dedicate a part of your life to that. Good luck. I am in a similar situation. We put the former house with a property rental agency and it's pretty easy. They handle everything. I get a monthly check. Don't be afraid to go down the path of rental. Real estate has shown to be a good investment vehicle and it diversifies you. Don't try to take on the work or LL for 8. Good luck. Sell it. Are there good private schools to consider? Might be a good option, especially if you like your current home. Sometimes hard math is not the only consideration. As many have pointed out, being a landlord is not easy or passive. If you and your wife are not mentally prepared or both on board with being a landlord, sell it and move on. If you can afford not to, never sell a house. Rent it, the extra income is great. We've been doing it 10 years. It's been pretty easy. It's fun renting till your renter doesn't pay you and you spend years trying to evict him. Don't sell it, rent your current house, and make the cash flow pay for utilities for your new house. Plus there are so many tax advantages if you keep it as a rental property. 2 days a week is stupid. Her company just wants to justify the building lease. I'd never want to be a landlord. Heard stories from landlord friends about how much money they've lost on non-paying tenants and eviction proceedings. This even when the tenants were checked out, at least as well as an apartment complex would. Here's how I'd look at it. You currently have $330,000 in retirement accounts. Your potential rental property is worth around $380,000, $395,000. I'd plan on holding that as an investment property. Oofer. You now have $710,000, $725,000 in retirement assets and your portfolio is more diversified. The rental should also provide 5-7 cash flow annually. Look into setting up a trust. Similar situation. Ish. I kept mine. Monthly nut costs me approx $1,950. I rented for $4,250. Zillow says $4,600. I got to rate 15 years. Just doesn't make sense to sell it. Plus it's always mine. Anything happens in these uncertain times, I always have a home. A lot to be said for that these days. I was in your position and I sold. Regret it every day, crying face,